P8 TV. You should be good now. No? Ryan, this. Test, test.
I'd like to call to order the Planning Board meeting of August 15th, 2024. First item on the agenda this evening is the approval of minutes of the August 1st meeting.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the minutes of the meeting of August 1st, 2024.
Second.
Second, Dr. Otto.
Present.
No, it's not
Present.
present.
Thank
Roy voted present. Thank you. A&R Land Courts, it appears we have none. Site Building Permit Plan Reviews, 15 Newbury Street.
Mr. Chairman, if you remember that this, the applicant had submitted a letter of request to continue this application until the September 5th meeting. I do plan on having a chat with the applicant sometime between now and then and getting that and seeing where they stand with that.
Very good, thank you. So that's continued to September 5th.
Yeah.
Next item is 10 Lowell Street.
Through the chair. I'd like to recuse myself from this item as I'm the applicant in this matter.
I understand, thank you. Will you make the presentation? Yep, I can. All right. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Matt Genzali, MRG Construction Management, doing business at 3 Centennial Drive, Peabody, also a resident. Here tonight on behalf of 10 Lowell Street, MJV Capital, which is Mike Votto, looking to have our site plan review done for the addition and renovation at 10 Lowell Street. Working within the existing foundation and footprint, the vertical addition is approximately 2,970 square feet, bringing the total of the building to 10,670 square feet. That's the size of the addition is the vertical addition is the reason that we're here tonight. The proposed building will include a new 2-story Brody's with a 3rd and 4th floor salon suites business above. The building will have a new 4-stop passenger elevator, new sprinkler and fire alarm systems, ADA compliant access from the sidewalk. Construction is being completed with fully designed stamped architecturals, civil utilities plan, MEP drawings, sprinkler, fire alarm drawings, which have all been reviewed with and shared with Drew as part of the application. We did meet on this past Tuesday, just 2 days ago, with the Board of Health, Engineering, Fire Department, PLMP, received feedback regarding the plan, and we were hoping with you here tonight to answer any questions you might have and seek approval of the site plan.
Just, Mr. Chairman, before I continue, I have the presentation that you provided in the packet if you want to go through that, or
Yep, we certainly.
I believe Ryan Toomey is on this as well. He needs to speak.
Yep, so Ryan is a project manager for my company, so if there's any technical questions, he's a little bit more familiar with a lot of that data, so he might chime in if I misspeak or stumble. Yeah, so I actually could run through the development impact statement that we prepared as part of the application, so just discussing a few of the high-level points. Traffic flow and circulation. This proposed renovation in addition to the subject property doesn't impact, affect, or change any traffic flow or circulation in the area. There isn't necessarily any site work to speak of, aside from our utility plan to bring a new domestic and fire service sprinkler line into the building. So it's a 0 lot line property for the most part. Again, that's the utility work that we spoke of. It's just the 2 water lines, existing sewer to the building. The environment, the project does not propose any increase to impervious surfaces on its site. We're working within the footprint of the existing building. Because of the brook runs below a portion of the building, the project had sought and received determination of applicability from the City of Peabody's Conservation Commission. So that part was behind us. And then, again, municipal services, we feel as though the proposed renovation addition will increase the square footage of the building, as I mentioned, and the businesses that it will house will provide numerous, probably 40 to 50 food service, hospitality, hairstylists, and cosmetology employment opportunities once completed. So, and the intent of the architect and the design team was to complement the character of downtown Peabody, reinforce the qualities of the buildings in the downtown, and create a new destination in Peabody Square. So we hope it's a catalyst for other projects in the area. The presentation material that you see here is a high-level overview. It's not indicative. I think our plan set is 90 pages, but Joe Betancourt, our architect, was nice enough to boil it down to a presentation packet that shows you guys some renderings, some data about the size of the square footage of the floors, who the occupants will be, the team. Drew, you can go to that second slide. Again, this is Joe's analysis. He takes great pride in trying to, again, adapt to the historical sort of aspect of the project and what the downtown used to look like and how the new Brody's will fit into to that historical appearance of our city. Just a quick overview of the layout of the site. As you can see, like I said, the property on all but the very far end of the triangle is pretty much a zero lot line property. And again, we're working within the existing foundations in all parts of the building. And so this is just a little graphic that's showing, again, the utility lines that are coming in. Just again, very schematic version of what you'd see on the civil utilities plan. Roof plan diagram, again, on the high roof will be most of the heating and cooling equipment for the building. On the low roof that's closest to City Hall, that's where a lot of the HVAC makeup air unit and hood exhaust for the restaurant will be located. I can go to the next slide. Again, this is just a nice little layout of general overview of the first floor, the Brody's plan. So Brody's actually, like I said, 2 stories. The first floor of the building will have entrance from the city sidewalk, again, ADA compliant, with a ramp on the interior that will lead up to an interior entrance to Brody's, as well as the elevator lobby and common staircase going up to the upper floors, as well as the Brody's restaurant and bar on the right, and the kitchen preparation area in the back, which is like the pink area on the plan. And go to the next set. Again, Brody's is going to be 2 stories, so this is the second floor of Brody's will, again, enter into the restaurant off of the elevator lobby. There'll be another smaller bar for Brody's and very similar dining area against Main Street and overlooking the park towards City Hall. And then again, just about half of the floor is the purple area, which is bathrooms and more kitchen space. So it takes 2 floors worth of kitchen area to serve as a restaurant of this size. And then here's the 3rd and 4th floor that is going to be salon suites, individual rental salon spaces that'll be operated as a second business in the building. And then just Joe went ahead and gave some sort of aesthetic renderings of what kind of things will look like at night. Our intention is to have very sort of low ambient lighting, up and down, no spotlights or anything like that, disturbing adjacent neighbors, albeit none of them residential. We are conscious of the funeral home that's behind us, and certainly won't be blinding anyone with spotlights. And I think the next few pages are just more renderings of what can be and what's going to be in the area. You'll see on the right, the city owns the piece of property where the statue is, and that's intended to be a small parklet, I believe, in the future. At least we hope so. And that's about it. The intent here too is that the windows facing on the 2-story part of the building on the right there, most, if not all of those, are expected to be operable, open and closed with good weather. So be a nice experience looking over the brook and onto the park. So, again, just more renderings of the intended finished product. See if you have any questions.
Questions or comments? Mr. Walsh?
Through the chair. Matt, can you talk a little bit about, or either of you, about the access to Goldthwaite Brook, any protections around the brook and any access to the building that might interact there?
During construction or after?
Following construction.
So Goldthwaite Brook will run, I think it's approximately 5 feet beneath the building cantilevers over the brook. I think it's about 5 feet over the water. That area was significantly improved by the work we've already done. We poured a slab on deck over the cantilevers over the brook now. I don't say cantilever, it's supported by posts that are the existing piers in the brook, but I think a dramatic improvement to the underside of that. The old building was wood and in severe trouble. And so I think, as a result, the completion of the project is going to be an improvement to the protection of the brook, quite frankly. During construction, we are protecting it per the instruction of the Conservation Commission with, we've got panels and fabric collecting any debris that might fall during construction. So when it's complete, I don't think there's really any impact, if any at all. It'd be in a positive way.
Great. And if I can follow up on that, it looked like in the renderings there was a fence. How tall is the fence around it going to be? Do you know?
There is a fence on the park side, the city side. There is no fence on Brody's property. The fence right now, I don't know if that's a permanent fence. It's probably 3 to 4 feet high. It's a black chain link fence. I think it's more safety. Yeah, and temporary until something gets, something permanent gets done with that property. But yeah, there is none on our property.
Great. And then just finally, the last question I had, it didn't look like there was roof access on that shorter side. Is there going to be any access?
On the small side?
Yes.
Yeah, there actually is on the third floor, there'll be 5 windows. Actually, as we stand here today, if you were to see the building, there's 5 windows already framed and open. There's actually a man door that's going from the third floor next to the bathrooms out to that low roof for service of again, the exhaust fan and makeup air and cleaning ductwork and all that we need to do. So there is. And then there'll be roof access to the high roof via the back emergency staircase. When you get to the top of that, there's a hatch on the upper landing of that.
Great, thank you.
Dr. Otto, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair, it appears that the existing footprint encroaches on the railroad property a little bit. Is that a concern at all?
Again, it does. It was an existing condition. Many months ago when we had the first survey done, that was revealed to the project team. Existing sort of non-conforming fact that we just had to work around. Of concern, at the moment, no, the railroad track is not running, and it's always been that way. And so I believe the railroad had successfully operated without impacting the building. Aside from what, many years ago, a dumpster got pushed into the side of the building up at the front, but
20 years ago.
Yeah, there's no plans to have anything like that on the side any longer that could get in the way of a train if it ever came back to being an active track.
Thanks. Just one additional question. You were kind enough to include the negative determination from the Conservation Commission. But since work has been ongoing there now for many months, I'm just curious as to the sort of full status of your permitting, because ordinarily we would be making a recommendation to the building inspector to allow the permit to issue, but that I think maybe doesn't really hold in this case.
Yeah, so we originally sought a building permit for structural work only at the end of last year, which we were granted. Had a lot of improvements that got done to the interior soil conditions and how to reinforce the existing foundation from within. And so we got that permit. We proceeded to continue with our design and that work that was allowed. And then we did apply for the building permit for the shell and base building construction, and we're granted that permit. I don't know, I think maybe perhaps just an oversight about why we didn't trigger the site plan review prior to be issuing that building permit, but it is in hand and it is in place, so that's why the work's gone on.
Mr. Gagnon, please.
I had the exact same question about the easement or whether or not you had one from the railroad. And since that was answered, I just wanted to follow up and just say it looks like a great project. It looks like a beautiful building, and it's certainly an improvement to that building as well as the surrounding area. And so at the end of the day, I look forward to going in there and enjoying a good meal.
Roy, please.
Thank you, through the chair, to the applicant. I agree with Joe. I think you took a dilapidated building, and from what I see on these renderings, I can't even, explain the development here, how good this is going to be. But one question, dumpsters. How does the trash get in and out of here?
So that was actually a question that came up on Tuesday that we talked about with both Board of Health and with engineering. There is an existing partial dumpster enclosure that is still there. It's just a small fenced area with a pad underneath it for where the old dumpsters were. The intent and the sentiment was to find the appropriate way to do a more substantial dumpster pad and enclosure in the exact same footprint and spot of where it is now.
Well, is it also where it used to be when there was two different businesses there? If you're looking at the front of the building, to the left of the
Back
left corner?
Yes.
No, the front.
No,
on
no.
Lowell Street.
There'll be nothing there. No, it's a back back left corner.
It's actually
past the-
behind the building.
Oh, how does a truck get there?
So it's actually not a dumpster, it's individual totes that get rolled out to the street, and then the trash trucks pick it up at the street. Very similar to what they do in the North End and, busy
Okay.
Boston areas.
So you're not going to have, like, weekly trash pickups? You probably have 2, 3, 4 times a week pickups,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, prior we had it 4 times a week.
Okay.
And we'll have at least 4 and maybe even more frequently,
I understand.
depending on the load and how much is there.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Mr. Gonzalez alluded to this, but we did meet with the applicant and their team on Tuesday as part of Construction Review Committee meeting. At that meeting was PMLP, who discussed with the applicant just how access or how the electricity will be provided to the site. It was very straightforward, does not affect the plan at all. Also at that meeting was Fire, who stated that he's looked at the plans, he's got no qualms with it. Also at that meeting was Conservation. This gets into the dumpster. It was discussed on what the material would be in the back in regards to that screened-in dumpster area. Board of Health requires that it actually be a pervious material back there. So the applicant stated that they will work on meeting health guidelines and as conservation as well. Also at the meeting was Department of Public Services. Jim Nicholas will be looking or is looking at this project. The biggest thing that, whereas this is not a typical site plan and that they are proposing, stormwater and site access and, large groundwork that's not taking place, but they are doing utility connections. And I just wanted to make the board aware, those utility connections will now be on the front. There's a water line and a sewer line that's going to be put in. It's going to have to go across the street towards the courthouse plaza. It was reminded to the applicant and their team that street's going to have to be, repaved a certain way as well. There's bricks out there as well that they're going to have to be relayed. Mr. Nicholas's comments were more towards during construction rather than changes that actually be need to made to the plan. I will tell you there is no letter from Mr. Nicholas. He's waiting for a sign off on it from Mr. Politz, who's on vacation at the moment. But as I mentioned, many of the items, if not all of the items, were more things that would be, they're going to have to file a building permit that's going to have to get DPW sign off, where this is not including much site work or many of the typical things that engineering would review and revise the plan due to. It's much more of just make sure that your pipes are the correct pipes and you repave our street exactly in the way that it was before.
Drew, if I could just speak that, just for the record, just a slip of the tongue. There's no new sanitary line. There's just 2 water lines. That's okay. Just a 2-inch for domestic and a 4-inch for the fire service. They are all the way across, as Drew said, across Lowell Street into the sidewalk in front of the courthouse. And Drew's correct. The conversations that we had were related to, exactly how that work's getting done, how we're going to tap the existing, the water service line, how we're going to saw cut instead of jackhammering and infrared the trenches when we pour back. So a lot of measures like that, and again, restoration of the brick inlay that's in the sidewalk.
We also propose to do all the work at night to prevent any issues with traffic. So we'll do overnight.
I should also mention, too, that this project was reviewed and the Conservation Commission provided the negative determination of applicability in this as well. So they have had to discuss at length with the conservation agent in regards to stormwater runoff in the brook that's next to the property as well.
Any more comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move that the board approve the application for site plan review to renovate and construct in addition to an existing commercially developed property. Applicant is MRG Construction Management, Inc.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Joseph Gagnon. Mr. John Ford.
Yes.
Attorney Peter Arvanites. Dr. Judith Otto,
Yes.
Mr. Roy Simos,
Yes.
Mr. Sean Walsh.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is appointments. It appears we have none. Subdivision board action, we have none. Correspondence, any comments on correspondence? Hearing none. City council, comments? And other matters properly before the board.
I just wanted to update the board that Dr. Otto had started this subcommittee in regards to the rules and regulations of subdivision control. We have now had our second meeting of this. Great conversation. We're moving diligently through this document. I would just recommend that any members, while not on the committee, might wish to want to maybe review it, and if they wish to provide any comments or questions as well, we'd be greatly appreciated. You can submit those to me. I'll bring them in front of the subcommittee.
And I'll offer the invitation to anyone who wants to sit in. We'll be here an hour early next meeting, right over there, and we'll hash out some stuff. So all are welcome. That appears to complete our agenda, and I will entertain another motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?